What's up, people? Back at it again on this beautiful evening. Today I'm gonna upload a video. I uploaded it maybe a year ago, but I never actually published it on YouTube. So when I saw it and was going digging through the archives, I was like, wait a minute, I should re-upload this. So today's video is gonna be called To Fight or To Let Go. Stay tuned, we're gonna get into it. You already know. You heard it, you already know. So, to fight or let go. In life, there's many situations that we face that have the potential that could set us up for failure if we're not prepared for the decision making. When we choose to fight or let go of something, it can be a big part of our daily lives. The battle between fighting or letting go, it affects our relationships, it affects our careers, it affects our love lives, it affects our well-being, it affects our mentality, almost everything that you can think of. The main part about making the decision to fight or let go, at least should be based on three things: honesty, growth, and the outcome. Honesty, because you got to be honest with yourself. If I hold on to the situation, is it going to help me grow? Is the outcome in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, or whatever, is the outcome going to be good? So those three things, honesty, growth, and the outcome, work in tandem as to whether you're going to choose to fight or to let go. So what I did essentially is I highlighted three essential areas of our lives: relationships, work, career, and our love lives, to where I'm going to discuss fighting or letting go. So let's get into the first category, which is relationships. Relationships, friendships, and the likes, they are one of the main elements that dominate our lives. Whether or not we know it, connections with other people are a very important aspect of our lives. There's a mantra that says, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are. And to be honest, it has a lot of validity to it. Why? Well, because eventually, people you're around most will have the largest effect on you. Take it when you're a kid. Your parents, your guardians, whomever, they have the biggest influences on you. Their beliefs, their ideas, and all those things, they become yours until you're able to get older and formulate and create your own. Then comes your friends and maybe close family members and siblings, etc. We all have these people who are always around us, affecting how we are. Now, to bring it back to this topic, to fight or let go. Too often in life, we find ourselves in a stipulation of whether or not to keep a friendship or relationship or whatever, because to some degree it's outdated and it no longer serves a purpose in our life. Understand, although your potential is unlimited, your time is not. And the time you spend with people doing things that tear you down, doing things that bother you, doing things that hurt you, these things can have a profound effect on your life. When the relationships with people become toxic, and I did a video on 5 toxic relationship traits, what I'll leave somewhere around here in the video. When the relationships become toxic, draining, or full of conflict, you have to make a big decision whether to fight or let go. Now, this is easier than it sounds, but basically, the choice to fight or let go is based on 3 things. 1, the time invested. 2, comfortability. And 3, the emotional connection that you have to that person or relationship. These 3 things are usually the factors for letting go of a situation. To sum it up, when you're in a relationship or friendship that is no longer serving your needs, you have to decide if it's time to let go. More than likely, you've already fought with yourself in your head about the pain and frustration that the relationship is causing you and what it could potentially cause you if you keep it in your life any further. But you always have to make the choice that's right for you. You can't care about somebody else's feelings. You have to do the choice and make the decision that is best for you. You have to ask yourself these questions. Is this relationship making me a better person? Am I gaining things that I would not have been gaining on my own? Or am I gaining things that I have not gained in previous relationships? Or am I just staying in this situation out of convenience? Those are things to think about when you're in relationships and friendships to fight or let go. The second area that we're discussing whether to fight or let go is the second most important part of our lives, which is our work and our career. This is basically our livelihood. This is what we do to keep the bills paid, to stay afloat, to stay busy, X, Y, and Z. There does come a point in our lives where we have to make a decision to possibly change career paths or apply somewhere else or pursue some new goals. Maybe be an entrepreneur, maybe undertake a new skill. There's a variety of different things that we all do in our working career. Maybe go back to school. Maybe go back to school is another thing that we do in our working career. This is because a lot of times the jobs that we're in, especially if we're unhappy or we haven't found a way to formulate the happiness in what we're doing, this job can become a drain to our life force. And if we don't have the courage to change it, for whatever reason, this could lead to regret potentially. The truth is, our livelihoods should be an important part of our life. So going to work should be something that is important to you on your everyday journey. It should be something that you want to do and something that you want to grow in. It shouldn't always be something that is painstaking or something that's like a chore. Even though we may have financial obligations, don't quit without a plan. But what I'm saying is that you should not be afraid to take a risk and do something different. If work is something we do with most of our time in our life, should it not be different? Should it not be something that we enjoy or look forward to doing? Should we let go of an employer or a client that does not fully value our potential or our skills? This is something that needs to be discussed when we're choosing to fight and let go in our work and our careers. The third and last part of deciding whether to fight or let go is dealing with your love life. Yes, and this is the biggie. This is the one that affects us the most. Our intimate relationships with others become a very pivotal part of our day-to-day lives. From missing someone to wanting to spend time, to arguing, debating, getting along, going out, having fun, and all the other good stuff that goes into a relationship. These connections are multi-dimensional and they can have profound effects on our well-being. To jump right in, how do you know whether to fight or let go of a situation you're in, like a relationship, for instance? How do you know when to fight or when to let go? And let's look back at the relationships category and examine the three elements that are typical factors to be considered. Let's start first with time spent. Now, of course, the more time you spend with someone, the less likely you're able to just cut them off unless you're cold-blooded or a savage. But the more time you spend with somebody, it's going to be more difficult for you to cut them off. This is the sad part about love. I did another video on the darker side of love, which I will also leave somewhere around here in the link of the description. You should check that video out if you want to learn a little bit more on the actual dark side to being in love with someone. But the sad part about love is that sometimes it hurts. And one thing about love is that it feels so good to have, but it's a motherfucker to let go of. The time invested will seem like a waste, because who wants to throw a 5-year relationship down the drain and start over from scratch? Who really wants to do that? I don't know about you, but I really don't want to do that, and I'm sure you don't want to do that. But guess what? It's a part of life. And if you want to get to the next evolutionary checkpoint in your life, you must be willing to do so. No one individual is more important than your growth, your journey, and your life. No one individual is more important than your life, your journey, and your growth. So it's important to keep this in mind, that no one individual is more important than you having to grow as a person. Now, with this time invested comes, being compatible with somebody, understanding them, not wanting to learn somebody all over again. You're already accustomed to this person, their emotions, their flaws. You're already used to it. So there's another slogan that says, stick to the devil you know. But in the case of our love life, sometimes if the person is an obstacle or holding us back, we have to get out of there. The second aspect is comfortability. So once you're comfortable with someone, it's very hard to just let them go. You're already accustomed to their ways, their flaws, their ups and downs. You know what type of food they like. You know how they kiss. You know how to, all of those things that you engage in and engage with that person. And so to start over and do it all over again might be so much of a headache that you might not want to do that. But that's the hard part about letting go or fighting. You have to know what's best for you. And the last element is emotional. So, the emotional connection that you have. And this is the biggest hang up that everybody goes into, because this is the thing that drives every single thing that we do, is our emotional feelings towards it. Both the time invested and the emotions are usually the hang ups. And if people were honest with themselves, a lot of marriages would not have happened, and a lot of marriages would not still exist, because people are saying, hey, really and truly, I married you because I thought you were this person, or I wanted you to be this person. I didn't marry you for who you are. I married you for who you could be. And we got to be honest with ourselves when we get ourselves in these situations, man. And we can't get that time back. We have to be sure that the way that we're moving with people is the way that we want to go. In the grand scheme of things, just to summarize it up, to fight or let go is a very hard decision. It's not an easy decision to make. And a lot of times we compound that difficult decision by doing what's convenient, what's cool for the moment, and not really thinking things through. So when you apply the thought of to fight or let go to all aspects of your life, and weighing on the time spent, the emotions behind it, the comfortability of it, and actually thinking, is this thing that I'm doing going to help me grow as a person? If I'm being honest with myself, is it going to help me grow as a person? And if it is not, am I willing to live with the outcome of not letting go? You already know. Let me know what things you are willing to fight for and what things you have to let go. Leave a comment in the box below. Please subscribe to Cinematics Media. Check me on Instagram, Cinematics Media, my YouTube, Cinematics Music. All links will be in the description below. And again, give me another comment. Let me know what things are worth fighting and what things are worth letting go. Till next time, you already know.